Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. So today I want to talk about a regional bank in California. It's called Bank of the Sierras. Is deciding now to close 5 branches. Right now, we talked about this in the Bed Bath and Beyond story, where large companies like Bed Bath and Beyond and Staples had been deciding during this pandemic to start closing certain stores. Right, they were saying, look, we had a blow up of growth. We're now seeing very, sales are pretty much stopped. And we're closing, every other store down the highway because we know people will drive a certain distance, okay? We just can't service those stores. Between the cost of rent and the employees, it's just too much. Well, now I just see that the Bank of Sierra, it's a regional bank, small regional bank. Um, I don't remember how many locations they have, but I want to say it's over 25. But they're closing maybe 30. They are closing. Don't quote me on that. If anybody knows, put it in the description below. But they're closing 5 branches, and the CEO says that it's due to a change in behavior of our customers due to the pandemic. Now, well, that's pretty much obvious, right? We know that people were not going into branches very often. And I'll tell you this from experience, I've got a lot of banks that when you have multiple businesses, you have all kinds of banks. The one thing you do when you have multiple companies, you do not want the same bank if you have the same bookkeepers, because there has been issues in the past where we pay the wrong, bill. They all look the same, right? So we like different banks, and we also use different banks for different reasons, right? Well, with the small regional banks, obviously your ability to do certain things is limited, right? However, the small regional banks have worked out these great deals where they like ATM fees, no matter where you are, even if you get charged, you get it reimbursed back through your bank. They've really tried hard to compete with these bigger guys. But it's interesting because, it's not just them having to close a bank and there's now people that are out of work, right? Because I don't feel too bad right now for the people out of work, because quite honestly, and it is a bummer, bank tellers and most people that work at banks do not make a lot of money. You usually don't make a lot of money when you're working at a bank until you get in the management level, and so what's really neat is, and it's like one of those things in life where sometimes the worst things that happen to you are actually the best. Well, if you just found out you were laid off because your bank closed, there is so many opportunities out there right now, to say the least. Right now, there are so many people looking for work, for employees, good employees, that you walk in dressed nice, and you're professional, and you say, I would like a new job. There are jobs right now that will pay more than what you are making in a lot of cases, I'm finding. So that's really a blessing in disguise. The one thing is just, it's tough leaving one job and going to a new one, especially when you don't know what you're doing. It's just a new industry. But you think about it, and this is yet another nail in the coffin of the economy, because what happened during this collapse of sales, right, because of a forced lockdown, it did change the way all of us do business. Like I've said before, CFOs figured out, oh my gosh, I can get literally more work out of people while they're doing Zooms, because it's easily measurable now. I can easily watch what they're doing, give them tasks, make sure the tasks are completed, and it's easier to measure the workflow of these employees. And now I do not have to pay for a building to put them in. I don't have to pay for the electricity. I mean, they're literally paying for it themselves. I don't even have to pay for internet connection. They got their own internet connection. I mean, you think about it, it's absolutely remarkable what society has just done. They've completely flipped the way they do their life, right? Because it's not just because like you had to change, everybody had to change, right? So here these banks are going, people are literally not, even though we're opening up, they are literally not, they're choosing not to walk into the door of that bank, which means we've still got the same amount of business in some cases. They're doing online banking. They're using their cards a lot more than checks. Well, we could just close banks and save money. We could lay these people off. We can not pay for the buildings anymore. Don't need the electricity costs, all of that stuff, the utilities, the water, the gas, all of those things. It is absolutely remarkable. The sad thing is, though, is what you're seeing is you're going to see more unemployment due to this, because this is just the beginning of this. Because of behavior patterns changing, you are going to see more and more companies make these decisions. And the sad thing is you're going to see more and more sales going to the, whether it be banking or even groceries. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Drive into Home Depot, and I can't believe how many people I see pull into those slots where it's like, hey, come to my door and just deliver my car and deliver it. Which means those people are, and they're probably only getting the stuff that they need right now. Those people are shopping online for those same goods even more, which means the larger conglomerates, even grocery stores, are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It is pretty wild. And you know what? I'm going to leave you with a ray of hope. And it's not going to be a huge ray, to be honest with you, but these are the days as businesses are closing, and you always wanted to start a business. You need to start really watching human behavior, because there will be a day when too many businesses close, and there won't be your local grocery store. There won't be your local hardware store, or, you know what I mean, like the store that gives the good service. And there's going to be opportunities to start reopening those, because too many of them are going to close. And I really see that as an opportunity, because when you couple all those stores closing, and it just gets worse and worse and compounds, until, we see full-blown collapse and everybody's panicking. But then there's always a bottom. There's always a bottom, and then it starts to trend up, which means you're going to be able to get back in at the bottom and really explode. But the thing is it takes a lot of planning, a lot of being aware of your surroundings, especially being aware of human behavior. Listening to what people are saying. Because at the bottom, when everything, you don't have enough businesses to service everybody, because everybody decided to do the same thing at once, close a bunch of shops, there's going to be an opportunity to be able to open up and do something. And that's a pretty exciting thing, because then you're sort of first to market in your region. So anyway, I wanted to tell you about that. It's just something interesting that I saw that's happening. If you're seeing local banks closing their branches right now, please let me know in the comments below. I'm curious what other people are seeing right now out there. Okay, guys? With that being said, thank you so much, and the Economic Ninja is out.